An important aspect of Unitarian Universalist belief is what we call our seventh principle. We are an interconnected web, and we have to look at a bigger picture of how we use energy, what's going to be sustainable for the future. And it seems to me that renewable sources are part of the answer to those questions. My grandfather was a coal miner. Oil was discovered, a half an hour's drive from here, and it brought this area prosperity. And I think people are nostalgic about that, but we can't go back. We have to go forward, and renewable energy is the way to go.
For many years, I've been trying to figure out more ways to provide my students with hands-on learning experiences. And it really came out of student interest and out of a culture at Allegheny that really emphasizes experiential learning and hands-on learning approaches. Before the class started, I sent an email out saying, hey, does anyone want to be a part of this crazy experiment putting solar panels on a church for the first time? And so what we got was kind of a self-selected group of eager people that were just open to whatever. This is a group that's willing to get their hands dirty. They're willing to climb out that window onto the roof on Friday afternoons. We deal with the muck and the wet and the temperatures that we've been experiencing being outside.
I decided to take this independent study because not only was the description appealing to me, I also really like hands-on projects more than like learning in the classroom with like a lecture setup.
It's not like a classroom setting at all. Like we're never just like sitting in a lecture, and we're actually going out there and doing things.
It's a hands-on opportunity to actually accomplish something for like the church in Meadville, and then potentially in the future for other nonprofit organizations is the idea. And you get to learn like a practical skill of installing solar panels in one context, which is super cool.
What was my first reaction when I heard about this? Finally! This is looking towards the future rather than the past. And we're joining solutions rather than talking about it.
When we heard about the panels going up, most people were pretty enthusiastic about it. There was surprise because we didn't think we could afford it, or we didn't think it would actually happen. People living in Meadville with all its cloud cover, I'm not sure everybody thought solar was even a possibility in this town.
I hear that all the time. Like, we're in cloudy Pennsylvania. It doesn't make sense to put solar here. And what you have to realize is we just receive a ridiculous amount of sunlight from the sun pretty much anywhere you live.
What makes Unitarian Universalists unique here in our community? Particularly now, in the last 5 or 10 years, I would say the climate crisis has become almost the top issue here in the Meadville area, at least in this group.
The church is going to receive a 14.8 kilowatt installation. It requires 37 solar panels, and it should roughly offset about 70% of the church's annual electricity use.
As far as I know, we are the first church to be able to install solar panels and use that as a way to lead by example, which is so much stronger than talking about it. Hopefully it will encourage other institutions and organizations, particularly nonprofits, because money is always an issue.
A significant portion of the cost of installing solar is labor. By combining a solar installation with an educational opportunity for students, we can actually reduce the cost of the installation significantly. And the fact that I can talk to a community member that feels like we're doing them a huge favor just confirms to me that we're on the right track.
The new vision of this church is really reaching out into the larger community. So when Allegheny came forth with that idea, and we were looking at organizations we could work with in the larger community, this was perfect. The values are the same as ours. It would probably be of interest to new people coming in here in their 20s and 30s and saying, wow, one of these churches is actually doing something about it. I wonder what else they're about.
Allegheny College and this church are organizations of, in a very simple way, openness, of exploration, of looking for new ways to solve existing and old problems. And we have found in this project a way to bring those things together.
Different students will take away very different lessons and experiences from this project. This is a way to begin to access what energy systems and renewable technologies are all about.
This class will help me apply what I've been learning in the classroom to a hands-on experience and seeing it in action. And you know, climate change is a big topic of ES majors, and seeing how alternative energy on just like the small roof and seeing how fast just a class put it up, like imagine how big it could be when it's a bunch of people putting like solar panels up.
This is definitely one of those instances where, yes, we have to think globally, but we also have to act locally. For the town, it shows that like, hey, this is gonna help in a lot of different ways, and this is what you can do to help. Like, it's very feasible now.
If just a group of college students can do this as a class project and create like an actual output of a solar array that's functional as an alternative energy source, that's like empowering in a way.